We're here with Terry today, just like Carl and I were talking about yesterday, day before. This is Terry, another very interesting and fascinating find at the Senior Center.
Howdy.
He is full of information on gadgets, inventions. His brain is always going in making things better and more efficient and something unique and different. And what's your most recent one that you can talk about?
I'm full of something.
True, he's full of something always.
I think of a lot of things, but I think along a particular line, and that's creating useful solutions that serve a global need while benefiting humanity. Right? That's really where my heart lies, and where my mind lies. But just because you can think of a solution doesn't mean it's going to come to fruition. Right?
Right. And that's a pretty big...
Yeah, it's a big thing.
That's a big concept.
Yeah.
Say it one more time.
That's creating useful solutions that serve a global need while benefiting humanity. Right?
Okay. And so what does that look like in your world? Like what's...
Think globally, act locally kind of thing. Well, and similar to what we have going on at the Senior Center. We announced a new information system yesterday, right? Well, that's going to benefit this Senior Center, but it's something that could benefit any Senior Center, whether that be nationally or internationally, right?
Yeah, that's a good example.
Yeah.
Terry just introduced a project that he's been working on for several months, and they're going to put in a flat screen digital information system. You usually see them in hotels, in conference centers, that type of thing. And we're a very small community, and Terry is like at the forefront of taking this Senior Center into the technological era.
Oh boy, I didn't realize I had that responsibility.
But that's a pretty big, that's a pretty exciting big thing for a ranching community that people don't really think outside the box that, we could really do this. And how did it come about? Tell them how it came about.
It came about. We lost a member of our seniors community here recently, and it would have been, I think he would have been better represented if he had more of a display, right? People accomplish a lot of things in their life. And what we gave Dallas was great, and we had a lot of participation, but I think there's more that could have been explained about his life. Right? And so it just started with initially just a picture frame, So we take at our Senior Center, we have a lot of smiles in there, right? And if we take pictures of those smiles and display those smiles, then it lifts, right? The seniors participate at our Senior Center, I think primarily the social interaction, because we're built to connect, right?
Right.
And so with that, it kind of evolved from a picture frame to a big on-the-wall, big screen, right? Like a TV connected to a computer. And then that computer would be a touch computer because seniors aren't really all that tech savvy, right?
Right.
But taking it to a different aspect, seniors have issues with trust. Right? Because there are entities or people out there that want to take advantage of seniors.
No.
Yes. And so part of this arrangement will be creating a contractors list. If someone among our group recommends a plumber, right? Well, that person, that trusted person, goes on our list. And same with mechanics or carpenters or whatever. And then going back to Dallas's memorial, well, that memorial was put together after he died, right? All of those pictures were scanned in after he died. Maybe he wanted to say something, but was no longer to everyone there. but was no longer able to do it. If we had the ability to create our own memorial service, right, and put it in a file at the senior center, then maybe we could get out posthumously our true feelings that we're unable to share right now, right, with the group, right? Mm-hmm. We could also discuss things that we're proud of in our life or have been proud of in our life. And maybe some of the mistakes that we made, you're basically creating your epitaph for how you want to be remembered.
All from an electronic device that you're putting up for the senior center.
Yeah.
And that's like where your whole purpose of, say it again. Because you have, this is like a life mission statement.
It is a life mission statement.
And so everything comes back to it, but say it again because you can see how it...
Well, I think so much of this particular statement that I have it trademarked.
Oh.
I do.
Okay.
I call it visivation.
Oh.
Which is also trademarked.
Right.
But visivation is to create useful solutions that serve a global need while benefiting humanity. Right?
And see, you have everything in it just from that volunteer opportunity to tie that all together with just technology and love for Dallas.
We all have the ability within us to make it a positive impact on the people around us. When you're doing it on a volunteer basis, you have a passion for that. You have a passion to impact people in a positive way.
Let's switch to some of those questions I have about keeping involved in your community, because Terry and I met several years ago.
It's been a couple years.
Mm-hmm. And he came here from Texas?
About 30-something years ago, yeah.
Oh, okay, you've been in the area that long.
Yeah, in the Four Corners that long. Yeah,
okay.
Sure.
And just give us a little background of...
Okay, well, I'm married. I'm 60,
how long?
Going on 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, married barefoot, sunset, beach, Maui.
Wow.
Champagne. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a fairy tale.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'm 65. And
newly retired or been
well,
retired?
kind of creeping into it based on a work injury kind of thing that just kind of evolved into drawing Social Security, right? And so initially, and you may have done this too, or maybe doing this, you struggle a bit at first, going from working to not working.
I did a lot.
Yeah. It's like, where's my purpose?
Mm-hmm.
What am I to do now? Mm-hmm. And so I still struggle with that, because even though I have my statement and know that that's the impact I want to have the remainder of my life, I am still not sure how I want to do that, right? Mm-hmm. And so going to the senior center has opened up things that for me. Mm-hmm. I will probably go back to work doing something, but this time something I love, right? Not just to have a job to pay the bills. I want to do something I really enjoy, right? Mm-hmm. And if I could, I think I would continue inventing. There are certain things that I believe we need in the world that we don't have now. I have a heavy construction background, and so part of my mental masturbation, right, is growing new building ideas, right? I have two building ideas, one heavy, right, and the other one light, and the light one came about thinking of homeless housing. So I think we could do so much better with with the homeless. George Carlin made jokes about it. He indicated there's no money in it, so nothing will ever get done. Right?
Right.
And that's kind of a sad situation because we're better than that. As humans, we're better than that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You know, we need to lift. There's so much tearing down right now.
There is.
It's repulsive.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
what's it doing for us? Absolutely nothing.
It's pulling us apart.
Mm-hmm.
It's polarizing us. It's tearing us up from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right. For what?
To win. To win.
Well, I just thought about, this morning I read a couple of my comments, and I probably came across the worst one today.
What's
and
that?
It's stuck with me. I'm not going to repeat it. I'm not going to give it power because I think about it the same way as you. We're becoming more and more polarized, and that person making that comment, what did they gain from that? I wasn't for them. So why can't they just pass and move on? But, that's the thing about the polarization. Why? What do you think drives people to do that?
A sense of accomplishments. It's easier to destroy than it is to build. Right?
Right.
It is.
True.
It costs money to build. It takes time to build. It takes seconds to destroy, if not a second to destroy. Negativity. We're a breeding ground right now for negativity, and ultimately, no one wins.
No.
Ultimately, no one will win.
So, if you use your mission statement, how does that work in your life on a daily basis? Like you're talking about being a force for good instead of being a force for evil. So just, what's your regular day? Because I know you're also out like Carl helping people all the time. Like somebody needs something, you start to get those wheels going. What can I do to help? And you're also not only just serving your community, but like the walking group.
The walking group, yeah.
Okay, so we go down to the senior center, but there's no walking group. And Terry says, I'm going to start a walking group. And pretty soon he has a collection of women and men, but walking with him.
Yeah. Well, that follows along with the theme, right? Creating useful solutions that serve a global need while benefiting humanity, right? All right. Just creating a simple walking group. Well, among our group of seniors, those that exercise are still around. Well, the walking group was created to get us moving, right? And to get us socializing. Right?
So we can break down some of those walls and barriers of people having different opinions.
We have among the people in our walking group, of course, when we started, it was, people didn't really talk. But now it's like we're all talking, we're all sharing, we all lift each other up, right? And people in that group are positive, right? There's very little tearing down, right? If there is, it's because we don't understand, right?
Right.
There's a lot of lifting. And I tell you what, and it's motivating too. There's nothing more motivating to me than to see an 88-year-old man with a walker doing the same thing a 65-year-old man is doing, right?
Exactly.
I'm going to keep up with that guy, right? Yeah,
Exactly.
He's not going to beat me, right? And he's 88 because he's still moving. So anyway, it's just doing little things that help your community, and it lifts the heart, which
and it keeps you connected so that you are lifted as well.
Well, I'm selfish. I like that feeling, right?
It's good to be selfish that way, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's good to be selfish in a lot of ways like that.
Well, if
you want to be lifted up, you don't want to be around the destroyers. You want to be doing something to contribute. You don't want to be always taker. It really is so important to be connected so that you have those opportunities to lift.
Right. It's easy.
It is.
You know, people try to ruin your reputation. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's...
Are you talking about me now?
I'm sorry. You can edit this out.
No, I am a town board member, and I just made the front page news of the Durango Herald.
I wasn't going to bring that.
No, please. Check it out, okay? I can't talk about it because it's an ongoing investigation, but it's quite a story, and I am selling lots of newspapers. And I have to tell you that I am deeply grateful for my community, because my whole community has seen that article, and this morning alone I had 3 people stop me and ask me if I was okay.
Right.
3 people already this morning ask me if I'm okay. Are you okay? I see the article, and it's really hard for me to imagine you doing what they said you did. And I can't talk about it, but I can say I didn't do what they said I did. And it's just mind-blowing that they are so set on tearing down. And the more they tear down, the more my community is building up support and lifting me out of that yuck. So, thanks for bringing that up. All right, so we got into my legal troubles and we turned off the video because... Just check it out, because there's more to come, I'm sure. Okay, now we're going to talk about... Is this okay?
It depends on my wife is watching or not, but she probably is.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about dealing with loneliness, okay?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
In your relationship. Loneliness as it applies to a 65-year-old man. And when we talk about the senior center, we're kind of the young ones of the bunch. And even though, I don't know if you feel the same way too, even though I am the youngest one, I feel like it's still my tribe because we share so many other things like gray hair.
Right.
You know, and when you know, like Carl says, when you have gray hair, you're invisible. And when we go down there as a group, we're like less invisible because we might form a little, all I can think of is a school of fish where you can actually see us in the ocean.
Well,
so, not going to sit like this because you have a wife and I don't want to get you in trouble. But this is a very caring man, and he's a very sensitive, kind man. And so talk about invisibility and loneliness, and in this time of starting off retirement, you're coming out of a job, you've been in a 20-plus year relationship, marriage. There's challenges with being together that long and being comfortable with each other. So tell me about loneliness.
Well, I mean, you can be married and still be lonely.
Yes, right? You can.
The polarization that we discussed earlier doesn't help, right?
Mm-hmm. So how do you deal with that?
Well, I reached out here a while back to a group called the Mankind Project, right? And it's basically a group of guys that talk about their week, right?
That's a breakfast group, isn't it?
Well, ours is an evening kind of group.
Oh, okay.
It's not like, breakfast, noon optimist or something like that. It's not like that. It's just a group of guys basically talking about their feelings and talking about their week, and maybe working on what they feel that they need to work on, right? To make them a better man or a better husband, or just better in general. And it's a positive thing. It is a lift. So I was searching for something to bring me joy, right? as a man, you don't talk about even this stuff, right? And, especially getting it out there to the world.
Right.
Yeah, and looking at the camera now, maybe I don't want to do this. This is bad.
It is.
Reel it back in, right. I don't know, but I actually went to a psychologist. Why are you here? I want to feel joy. I want to feel joy. I can't feel joy. As a retired person, I'm not set up for $300 an hour just to get it out, right? Mm-hmm. And so he said, "Have you ever heard of the Mankind Project?" No. And so I looked it up online, and there was even a video put together by the Mankind Project members from Durango. So I looked at that, and they interviewed the wives, they interviewed kids, about how much better their dad was, how much better their husband was after going to these meetings. And so that's what I do on Wednesday nights, right?
That's very cool. I think I just saw a video about that. Sunday Morning was doing a video on that. If it is, I'll link it, but I think it is the Mankind Project. I'm kind of thinking it was. So.
Well, it's an international organization.
Okay.
Started in Minnesota.
And they were, Minnesota, and they were talking about you can go on weekends. And they talked about how it's, men have been put in this box with very few feelings. And this community of men is just there to talk man on man about feelings, which is... new.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. But it's so cool.
We discuss all sorts of things. We're raised as a kid not to show emotion. Mm-hmm. And not to talk about, not to cry, not to talk about our feelings. Mm-hmm. We're human, right? We're human. Mm-hmm. And those are unnatural kind of things, right? Mm-hmm. So it offers a place where you can get that out, and you can also think about what you're going to work on to make you a better man, right? Or a better family, or whatever. It's just a positive place to impact your life and the lives of others, right? So I'm not a religious person. I had some bad instances earlier in life that prevented me from accepting the God gene. So this is a place that I need, right? Mm-hmm. Just like the senior center, right? I need senior center to socialize. I need this place once a week to get out what I can't say relate to others, Mm-hmm. I would love to be able to relate this to my wife, right? But that's difficult, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like we're not the only people in the world that have been married for 20 years, and what is going on in our relationship is somewhat normal to people.
20-year relationship.
20-year relationship, right?
Right.
You still have to get it out.
Right, you still have to deal with it.
Yeah. So, and when you listen to five other men in that circle, and you're like, all of a sudden, I don't have any problems, right? No, I'm good. I'm good.
That's really true. Yeah. Like, that's another thing. If you think your world is you're miserable, your life is miserable, just get in a group where you start talking about some other people having their experiences, and pretty soon you're counting your blessings.
Right.
Most of the time.
Right.
Most of the time.
So that going to the senior center and going to that group is how I deal with my loneliness, or what I crave. Right. Mm-hmm. I crave being able to speak with on a guy level, on a deep level, on a very deep level, and I crave that. Mm-hmm. I crave showing my emotions, which we've been told we shouldn't have, since we were born, right? There's the shame factor, right? That some men feel, right? And whatever it is, you can discuss it there.
That's a good resource.
Yeah. So that's it. And with that, you can process, right? You can process all this stuff. So the next day you feel better, not lonely, right? Plus, I have a pet.
Hey, pets are.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your pet.
Cookie?
Yeah. Tell me about your pet.
Cookie the Wonder Dog?
Yeah, Cookie the Wonder Dog.
Oh, yeah.
She's
Cookie's
beautiful.
She's got me wrapped around her little paw. And she's just a year old.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. I think we need to have, I think, as humans, we crave connection, as we discussed, right? But I think we need to have relationships, some type of relationships where we can speak on a deep level, honestly, without fear of retaliation, right? On an emotional level, right? And when you don't have that in your circle, well, then you just hold it in and things begin to fester, right? It's unhealthy. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? As a woman, right? I'm looking at it from my point of view.
I think it's super important that women have outlets too. And women can be very catty and very closed down too about their feelings. I don't talk to very many women about my feelings, but...
Do women talk to other women about their feelings? They talk about a lot of stuff, right?
They talk about other women's feelings with...
Okay.
They do a lot of talking about other women and other people, not so much themselves. Do women talk to other women about feelings? Not really. Not really. Quite honestly, not really. You're doing more than any of my friends that I know of. I go to a counselor twice a month. That's how important it is to me. Twice a month I'm in with a counselor talking about my feelings and things that I'm dealing with. Because I have some friends, but I don't have deep enough friendships with them to know that I'm safe with my vulnerabilities.
Right.
And so I have to pay for that. I have to pay for that time to keep myself healthy. I saw your expression. It's like, oh, that's so sad. But
no,
it's like that's what I have to do. And through this process, we're talking about like how can I be around those higher vibration people that lift people up? How can I be around more intelligent people that will stimulate me? How can I be around more emotionally sensitive people? How do I find those people? We're always talking about that. What do I need to improve in myself that will bring those people in my life? Because if you're not emotionally healthy, you're not going to attract emotionally healthy people in your life.
Right.
You have to be aware, and you have to know what you need to work on, and you have to see in others, not in a judgmental way, where they're at in relationship to you, and judge whether or not you're safe with your vulnerabilities and your emotions or not.
Right. Well, I think it's interesting you bring into the word judge, right? Because when you're being emotionally vulnerable, do you really want to be judged?
No. And a lot of people will just say,
yeah,
you messed up.
The truth hurts, but you need to hear it.
Right.
But, there's hearing it, and then there's rubbing it in, Right. Hey, let me take your nose and go,
Right.
No.
Right.
Right. That doesn't bode well for
and I think
anything.
On top of that, a lot of us want to expose that vulnerability so badly, or they want to share it with somebody and they're in it before they know that that person's going to use it to rub their face in it.
Right.
And then it just compounds the situation, and you feel the shame, and then you internalize it, and it starts this big, long, creepy process.
But then, you're cognizant of the other person's feelings too.
Right.
And you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
And so after a while, you're just quiet. But we have different viewpoints, right? Of which we really can't talk about because these triggers, you have these little triggers, and then, well, there goes the night. And so at least with me, I'm able to get it out once a week now, and I feel a little more whole with that. When you help others, it tends to lift you up, right?
Right.
A sense of accomplishment there.
You're getting that connection need met.
Yeah.